I think that's what's also interesting with what Rosanna's just been talking about is last year we were able to distribute out to members over $134 million at the end of the financial year. And in fact, just last week we sent out claim forms to members totalling about $64 million. So as you can see, the surveys, etc., and the fees that we're distributing are going back to the members in a really nice, timely, fast, efficient fashion, which is what we're after. And you can really see how that flows through from that survey data situation right through to the claim forms. So what I'd like to talk to you about is the new way that we're looking at making those type of payments. And this is with CALdirect. Now, CALdirect, if you haven't heard about it before, it's the new way for CAL to pay its members that directs payments to each shareholder in a work. Now, our existing approach, as you may be well aware, is to pay one shareholder in a work, whether it's the author, the publisher, or an illustrator, under proviso that they warrant that they'll pay on money that's due to the other rights holders in the work. Now, CALdirect is about having all of the payment shareholders in a work being paid their agreed payment shares by CAL directly. So no need for claim forms and no need for on-payments. What are the benefits of registering for CALdirect? Well, as I say, it removes the requirement to pay other shareholders, which of course also involves figuring out tax obligations, etc., for those various payments. It means there's a timely and more transparent method of payments for our members. It removes much of your administrative burden, such as the need to submit those notifications of copied works. I mean, some of you may receive one or two. Some of you, I know, will receive wads of paper with lots of items on them that you need to go through and advise us which ones, for instance, you may no longer control. Under CALdirect, that will no longer need to be happening. It won't be required. We'll also be in a better position to produce some statistical data which reflects far more accurately where CAL payments are really going. Because at the moment we do know the person that it goes to initially, as I say, whether they're an illustrator, an author or a publisher, but we don't record who are the other shareholders who also receive a portion of that payment. This will make it a lot more transparent, which will be, I think, of more interest and of use for our members. And finally, of course, it means much faster payments. We'll simply pay the individuals directly and issue a statement once the payment has been done. So the decision to register titles for CALdirect payments, we'll need to know some certain information, which will require your ISBNs and the title of the works, the bibliographic details, the contact details wherever possible if other rights holders are not members, and CAL will be able to then contact them and encourage them to join CAL to receive their agreed payment share. And we'll also need all of the agreed payment shares in a work adding up to 100%. Something to bear in mind is that the CAL shares are sometimes split depending on how your works are used. For example, you might own 100% of the hard copy reproductions, while 100% of the digital reproductions might lie with another rights holder. Our new CALdirect system means you'll be able to tell us the payment shares for hard copy and digital use. You may also wish to consider what types of work you wish to register as well. Now, when it comes to doing your payment shares, once we've launched the database at the moment, now primarily we've gone out to publishers to get their registration titles, primarily because we think they're probably best set up at this stage of having a digital database of works with the contracted royalty payment shares in them. However, with the coming online of the member portal, it now gives also the ability for all members to be able to register works. So by the end of 2011, CAL will commence making payments and allocations in either one of the two ways. Firstly, CALdirect, as I've said, which means no claim forms, no notifications, and a remittance that shows that it's a CALdirect payment. And secondly, we still be paying works that are not registered for CALdirect under the current system. That's the current single recipient. So that we'll still be receiving a claim form and a notification, and you will still have the obligation to on-pay other rights holders in a work. Now note, at this stage, we're only accepting registrations for the text component of a work at this stage. So allocations for things such as artistic works, poems, short stories, illustrations, embedded works will continue under the current default model. As mentioned, any rights holder can advise CAL of the contractual payment shares. However, the shares need to all add up to 100% before we can accept them into the database. When a CALdirect work is initially identified in a survey, We'll be contacting the members registered as having an interest in that work with an email. We'll be asking you to log online into your member account. We'll be asking you to confirm your interest in the work, and then at that point we'll then display to you your payment share as it's been registered. If rights holders do not contact us within a 30-day period, we will accept the payment shares that have been registered with us as being correct and make future payments allocated to that work under the model. If the payment shares are queried by any member, we'll be asking them to revisit the terms of their publishing contract, and if there's an event it ends to a dispute or a misunderstanding that can't be easily clarified about what the payment shares may be, our existing dispute resolution process will kick in, and allocation payments will be suspended until the dispute is resolved. Also note that it's open to you at any time in the future to query or change your notified payment shares. In particular, say for instance, if rights revert back to an author, or if imprints are bought or imprints are sold. Any changes will again be circulated to all of the interested rights holders in that group, the payment shareholders for that work, for confirmation on those shares before they are accepted. Now, I say this is going to be a much easier way of doing it, and as I say, we're now looking at faster ways to get payments to people, and while we've got CALdirect happening, we've also moved into the e-claims area, which some of you may have, I hope, started to experience over the last few months. With e-claims, in February we introduced this concept of emailing out to our members their claim forms and their notifications. The feedback we received from February was then incorporated into the ongoing distributions, and last week, for example, we emailed claim forms out to over 4,200 members and posted only 300, while prior to that we would be doing a mail out of over 5,000. As an indication of how quick the process is for our members, the emails went out at 12:55 p.m. and the first claim came back at 1:17 that afternoon, so less than an hour. So now, while the claim form itself still needs to be printed off and signed, as well as amended if you're not claiming everything in your notification, it can either be scanned and emailed back to us with the amended Excel notification, it can be faxed, it can be posted. Our only thing that we do say, though, is once is enough. If you're sending one mode, for instance, if you've chosen email or chosen post, then if it gets sent again, if you decide to then send it again just to be sure in another mode, it does create a bit of confusion at our end. So as I say, once is enough for sending it through. The claim form and notification of the copied works are exactly the same format as you've been receiving already in posted format and hard copy format. But the general feedback on the Excel format has been that's incredibly useful for members because it can not only be stored electronically for them, but also that they can be used as a tax record and also to record payments that they then make to the other payment shareholders in the work. So it's a great way of storing all of the information that you need to know about how you're handling your CAL claims. From the feedback that we received from that first initial send-out, we also have created a set of information tools and an area on our website called Making a Claim. Now, this also includes a video that takes people through the attachments in the email and also gives the steps to assist in filling it out. There are also information sheets, guides, everything from how to open a zip file as to how to handle the tax obligations. And just finally, just a couple of tips for those claim forms, because we all know it's all about processing them through on your behalf as quickly as possible so that you can receive your income. If you have removed or listed some of the items that were on your claim, make sure that it's there in your total amount claimed column, you can see there, because that total amount claimed is the amount that we're aiming to pay out to you, and you'll need to fill that in by hand if you've changed any of the notifications, if you've taken works out. If you use your recipient number, which is always down the bottom on your claim form, recipient number when you're dealing with any queries or discussions with us, that makes it much faster to locate the exact claim that you're talking about. And also to something that's not shown there, but alongside that in the new form is a section about bank details. If it says bank details active, it means we have your current details, so we'll be paying by EFT, so you don't need to resend us your bank details. If it says pending, then we're waiting for bank details. The EFT uptake by our members has been fantastic. This time last year, I think we had something like, one period we were drawing over 2,500 cheques for people and maybe 5 5, 10 EFTs. It's now virtually reversed. I'd say we're probably about 80% to 85% of our members are now on EFT payments, and the others are migrating over, so it's been fabulous.